I've spent the last 5 months coding the best indicator, trying out multiple systems, months of backtesting, making sure it works exactly how traders need it to. As you know, I've also had a lot of experience with indicators myself, so I know exactly which ones work and which ones doesn't. And after months of development, I think I finally did it. I developed an indicator that's better than anything I've seen before. So I present to you the Data Trader Toolkit, a set of indicators that contains everything a trader needs to profit in any market condition. It features the one-of-a-kind DT Oscillator, which gives extremely accurate buy and sell signals, a trailing stop indicator to help you exit your trades at the best price, volumetric key levels that highlight key reversal zones with the highest probability, a trend bar that shows you the exact percentage of the trend strength, customizable settings where you can change the sensitivity based on whether you're a more aggressive or passive trader, and many other features contained in this indicator. To make sure that it's as accurate as possible, I teamed up with ChartPrime to help me create this indicator. Some of you may know these guys have published hundreds of indicators on Tradingview before and is one of the absolute best in the game, so you know they won't mess around when it comes to indicators. Now, I'm going to be teaching you how to use the indicators to get the best results. So let's see how it performs in a real trade example. To start, once you got the indicator, you want to go to the indicator section on Tradingview, go to Invite Only, and the Data Trader kit should automatically be there. Now select it to activate the indicator. The first feature that I'll be using is the DT Oscillator, and the chart we're looking at is the Euro-Dollar pair on the 4-hour time frame. Bear in mind that this indicator works across all time frames and markets, whether it be Forex, stocks, crypto, futures, etc. But from all the back tests we've done, the 4-hour time frame seems to perform best. So, here's how to use the indicator. First, you wait for the DT Oscillator line, this white line here, to move outside of these bands. If it crosses the lower bands, we prepare to enter buy, and if it crosses the upper bands, we prepare to enter short. In this case, it crosses out of the lower bands, meaning we're getting ready to enter a buy position. Next, you wait for the white line to cross back inside the bands. Once it does, you need to make sure the center line, which is this one here, turns blue. When all three signals are aligned, you enter a buy or a long position. And look how perfectly the indicator works. The price rises significantly after we entered. It's the same idea for short positions. First, you wait for the price to cross above the upper bands, then wait for it to cross back inside the bands. Now, make sure the center line turns purple, and when it does, you enter a short position. Again, look at how the price drops after entering our short. Now, I'm going to show you an example of what an invalidation for this setup looks like. Let's say the indicator crosses below the lower bands and then crosses back inside, so you're preparing to buy. However, if the center line hasn't turned blue yet and the oscillator has already crossed the upper bands, then that's an invalidation. This means you should avoid entering any position. Pretty simple. There's also a divergence feature you can activate from the settings, like this. A blue line signals bullish divergence, which means you can enter long, and a purple line signals bearish divergence, which means you can enter short. Moving on to the next feature in the toolkit, which is a huge game changer for my trading, the trailing stop indicator. This indicator shows you the best time to close a trade. It includes partial take profit marks, which can be used to close a portion of your trade and secure profits along the way, and a trailing stop line, which tells us exactly when to fully exit a trade before price reverses. If you want to play it safe, you might sell around 70% of your position at the first take profit mark and let the rest of your trade continue. If you're feeling more aggressive, you might only sell 30% at the first mark and let a larger portion of the trade continue. It really depends on your trading style and what you're comfortable with. But remember, it's always a good idea to sell a portion at the first take profit signal for guaranteed profits. Now, let me show you how you can combine the trailing stop indicator with the DT oscillator. First, go to the indicator settings and make sure that the trailing stop indicator is activated. Now, wait for a valid entry signal from the DT oscillator. In this example, the DT oscillator crosses below the lower bands, crosses back inside, and the center line turns blue. Once this happens, you look at the trailing stop indicator and wait for it to turn blue as well. Once it does, you can enter a buy position. After that, let the trade run until either the indicator displays a partial take profit or an exit signal. Here, we see it displays the first partial take profit, so I'll close a portion of my position and let the rest run. Notice that the indicator even signaled to close near the absolute top. Next, the market starts losing a bit of momentum, and the trailing stop indicator turns red, signaling that we should fully exit the remaining position. As you can see, the indicator was spot on, as the market began heading downwards immediately after. For shorts, it's the exact opposite. First, you wait for the DT oscillator to display a valid short signal, like right here. Then, wait for the trailing stop indicator to confirm by turning red. Once it does, you can take a short position. Let the trade run until the indicator signals an exit. In this case, it tells us to fully close the position, and just like with the long trade, it captured the absolute bottom, helping us capitalize on most of the move before the trend reversed. A quick side note: the invalidation of this strategy is similar to the DT oscillator strategy. If the DT oscillator crosses below the lower bands, crosses back inside, but right before the trailing stop indicator confirms the entry, the oscillator crosses above the upper bands, then the trade is invalidated, and you should avoid taking a position. Now that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are even more features in this toolkit. One of my personal favorites is the DT Trend Analyzer. This tool displays a trend strength percentage directly on your chart, showing you exactly how strong a trend is. This will help you make smarter decisions and avoid trading on weak trends. The candle colors also changes depending on the trend strength. When the trend is strong, the candles become bolder, and when the trend weakens, the candles fade out. To use this feature effectively, make sure to turn off the candle borders from your chart settings. It makes the candle easier to look at. Now, there are two ways you can use this indicator. First, you can combine it with your current trading strategy. Second, you can use it as your main entry indicator. I highly recommend the first option, but both methods work perfectly fine. Let's start with the first method. To use this indicator alongside your existing strategy, make sure that the indicator is displaying at least 70% trend strength on the position you're about to enter. For example, say you're preparing to enter a long trade, but when you apply the indicator and check the trend strength, notice it's only at 60.9%, which is below the target of 70%, indicating that the trend lacks momentum. Even if everything else looks good, it's better to wait until the indicator confirms a stronger trend. In this example, the price eventually went down, so the DT Trend Analyzer just saved us from this losing trade. Now, for the second method, you can use the DT Trend Analyzer as your main buy-sell indicator. To do this, wait for the trend strength to show at least 99%. Again, it has to be at least 99%, not even 98.5%. In this example, the indicator shows 99% uptrend, so we take a long position. This ensures you're entering into a strong trend, which means the price has a much higher chance of continuing in the same direction. The next feature in the toolkit is automatic market structures. This indicator is extremely useful for traders, especially smart money concept traders. It was created to get rid of all the guesswork by automatically identifying market structures in real time. It automatically marks the highs and lows, break of structures, and change of characters, making it much easier to spot potential reversals. This is especially useful for beginners not knowing how to draw market structures properly. But it can also be used by experienced traders to automatically visualize market structure, so you don't have to manually draw them yourself. The last feature I want to talk about is probably the coolest: volumetric key levels. This tool automatically identifies high volume support resistance levels. These type of key levels have a much higher probability of causing price bounces compared to normal support resistance levels. As you can see in this example, the price hits this high volume support level and bounces off it multiple times. On top of that, the indicator also displays how many times a level has been crossed by the price. After it crosses 3 times, the support or resistance zones will then turn dotted, signaling that the level might be getting weaker, but since it's still a high volume area, it could still offer a chance for the price to bounce. You can also adjust the sensitivity of the indicator in the settings. Higher volume sensitivity will cause the indicator to only show key levels with extreme high levels of volume, but sometimes they tend to be further from the current price. If that happens, you can adjust the sensitivity lower to display levels near the current price. So this was a simple and basic tutorial on how to use the toolkit. If you want, you can take it to a more advanced level by combining it with other techniques like smart money concepts, price action, and chart patterns. Trust me, you'd be surprised by how well it works. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd like to say thanks so much for watching all the way through. And if you'd like to check out the indicator, I'll leave a link in the description, or you can visit chartprime.com/datatrader to read more about it. If you're still unsure, you can try it completely risk-free for 7 days. Oh, and did I mention that you'll also get access to all ChartPrime premium indicators on top of the Data Trader Toolkit? Yeah. So go check out the link. I'll see you there.